So National Dog Day is upon us again this year. And actually for us dog owners, it's really National Dog Day every day, right? But this year I wanted to make myself a rack to hold all my dog's leashes and some of their accessories. So I'm not that artistic, but all I did was download some clip art, which I'm gonna size up and draw that out on some template paper. And then I'm gonna cut that out and transfer that to this piece of 18 gauge by 12 inch by 24 inch piece of steel. So I actually made my circles a little different sizes instead of the same like the template. I made a 6-inch circle and a 5-inch circle. So kind of gave the bone a little bit more of a, non-symmetrical look. Now we'll set up our plasma cutter and get ready to start cutting this out. And remember, read and follow all labels and your owner's manuals. For these long cuts, I'm actually using a plasma cutting guide that I made that has a magnet on the back side to hold it in place. Metal bone. So now I'm just going to basically smooth my edges and take some of that dross off the bottom. My next step was to determine how many hangers I want to put on this dog bone. So I decided on 6 actually. I spaced them out equally on my template. And I'm just going to take a hammer and punch. I'm going to punch those through here so that I can drill my holes. I'm using 1/4 inch by 2 1/4 inch bolts. Perfect. Now just drill those out with a 1/4 inch hole. After I drill my holes, I usually take this deburring tool, or you could just use sandpaper or something like that, or even a file, and just knock the burr off the back side. Nice and smooth. So now it's time to make some mounting tabs so we can attach this to the wall. I'm going to take that drop-off piece and I'm going to cut a couple of strips that we're going to be 3/4 inch wide by 2 1/4 inches long. And this isn't so thick that you can't use a pair of hand tin snips for that, but I'm going to cheat and use my stomp shear. So each bracket's going to get 2 holes. One's going to be 3/16, and the other one's going to be large enough to fit the head of the mounting screw that you choose to use. So the screw I'm going to be using it's about 5/16, so I'm going to drill 11/32 hole so that the screw goes through the hole, and that's going to basically sit on that as the mounting screw. So a 3/16 hole and an 11/32. Yeah, perfect. Remember to deburr the back side of your holes. Okay. Now I'm going to mark 3/4 inch on each side. These are going to be some bend marks. 3/4. And flip it over and do the same thing. The reason I'm flipping it over is because these bends are going in the opposite direction. 3/4. And again, these aren't so thick that you can't just bend these in a vise or take a seaming pliers and bend it that way. But I'll probably put it in my brake. So basically it's just two 90-degree bends in the opposite direction. So take the good side of your bone and turn it over, because we're going to be welding on the back side. We're going to take those mounting tabs that we just bent up and we're going to mount them on the back here. Basically, I'm going to make mine about 1.5 inches from, say, the center mark. I'm going to make mine about 1.5 inches down and about roughly 13.5 inches between the centers of them. And so it'll look about something like that. And we're just going to spot weld that hole shut. Okay, I'm ready to weld my brackets on the back. I got my machine with the auto set put to the 18 gauge setting. I'm just going to plug weld that hole shut. And it's just that quick. Before you put your bolt hangers in, now is really going to be the time for you to customize this thing. Make it your own. For me, I'm going to paint it, put some stenciling on it, and I actually bought this little battery operated clock mechanism from Amazon for like $9. So check this out. And there we go. Got my clock working, got my bolt hangers in, and what you're going to want to do is add a piece of 1/4 inch rubber hose to the back side of your bolts. That's going to level your hanger on the wall, and it's going to keep the wall from getting scratched. I think it's time for a walk.